What happens on April 9th when Mars, the Apollo warrior planet, enters Aries, its home sign, also hot and fiery? And on that exact same day, it forms a sextile to Uranus. This is not slow manifestation energy. This is a quantum leap. Let's talk about it. If you're new to my channel, I'm Trina, your intuitive guide with the chakra vibe, helping you navigate life's energies. And today I want to talk about April 9th, 2026, when the planet of Mars moves into its home sign of Aries. This is the kind of transit where you don't just think about changing your life, you actually do something about it. And it works. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through Aries to Pisces, show you exactly what you're about to experience when it comes to your breakthroughs, taking bold action, and taking advantage of unexpected opportunities. And before we get into Aries to Pisces, our guest deck today is Ciro Marchetti, Tarot of Dreams. And we'll be using our deck, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. All right, so stay tuned for your astrology, but stay for the card reading. All right, Aries rising, those with their moons in Aries. This is your activation, right? Mars in Aries. This is like Mars is plugging you back into a power source. You're feeling pretty bold now, pretty decisive, and maybe a little unstoppable. With Uranus involved in this whole thing, which brings unexpected breakthroughs and changes, well, you might get a sudden idea about your body, about your identity, or about your direction in life, Aries. This isn't random either. This is your next level calling you. So, Aries, you could say yes to reinventing yourself, starting something fast, and taking that risk that maybe you've been overthinking. Aries, this is a personal breakthrough moment for you. So let's pull some cards. Well, first we'll pull from our deck, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand for you, Aries. For this Mars moving into Aries. And look at, there's options there for you with the crossroad. Now, the crossroad can mean difficult decisions sometimes too. Should I choose this or should I choose that? I say, Aries, go with what your heart feels more comfortable with, because the heart never lies. Let's pull a card for you now from the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti. All right. There's a really great guidebook with this, very thick, very robust. All right. Let's see for you, Aries. A tarot card to go with the options in your life, the decisions into this new path. See, Mars in Aries is going to want to make you be spontaneous and impulsive and do things, but I think it does take a little bit of thinking it through first too, right? Looking at the pros, the cons, taking a deep breath, because Mars wants to move fast, Aries, and that combined fire energy. You know, we do want to take a step back and kind of think about things first before launching yourself in there. But look at the Three of Wands, another fire card. Wands are the fire element, and he is looking at three different directions. You know, the ship might be coming in or the ship might be sailing, but either way there is kind of this decision with the Three of Wands. Let's see in the book what Ciro wrote about the Three of Wands. So I'm just going to skip to the Wands part here. There it is. And the Three of Wands, okay. This is waiting for the first signs of success after taking that initial action, Aries. Waiting for the return on one of your investments or investment of energy too. And so the sun in Aries rules this card, and you know, you're probably watching this with your sun in Aries. Isn't that interesting? And so you can take charge of the situation, the sun, by taking direct action to influence the events to your liking. And that's the Aries vibe. Wow. Sounds really good, Aries. Come see me for a reading. All right, Taurus, Taurus rising, those with their moons in Taurus. This Mars in Aries is happening in your 12th house. So there's a lot of behind the scenes for you. You might feel restless, Taurus, or something needs to shift internally in that 12th house, even if you can't quite explain it yet. Mars is activating your subconscious, and Uranus in Taurus, right? Because Uranus is infected in here too, sending you intuitive downloads. Uranus is sort of run by electricity, and it's sudden breakthroughs and maybe sudden changes, but it's giving you these intuitive downloads so you can pay attention, Taurus, to your dreams, 12th house, your gut feelings. Oh, you're just on par with that, okay? And sudden urges to release something. This is quiet for you, Taurus, but very, very powerful. Think of it as you are breaking free, Taurus, from an old version of yourself. All right, let's pull a card from the Tarot of Dreams, Taurus, by Ciro Marchetti. All right, so let's pull a card for Taurus. The Nine of Swords. She's feeling a little bit fearful, and that's lots about the nighttime, not being able to sleep, insomnia, because there's a weight of the. And then the 12th house, there could be a lot of those internal restless, like we talked about with that 12th house, in your 12th house, of feeling restless, the subconscious coming through, and things like that. So let's look at the book about what did Ciro write about the Nine of Swords, where it feels like, oh, I can't sleep. I got all these thoughts in my head, and oh, you know what I mean? And I looked at the little glyphs here. It's ruled by Mars, and we have Mars in Aries, right? So there's Mars for this card. Let's see what he wrote for the Nine of Swords, okay? Stress, tension, anxiety, all caused by the obsessive tendencies within our own mind. Very 12th house. And thank you, Ciro, for this. And so the astrology is Mars in Gemini for this card. And we're talking about Mars in Aries. So there is that Mars flavor. So an overactive imagination, Gemini, that's the energy, becomes preoccupied with the conflict and the struggle in life, Mars, okay? So if we expect bad things to happen, Taurus, then they probably will. So we got to change our mindset here. I would suggest doing some healing at night. I mean, I love doing this. I listen to some binaural beats or solfeggio music or hypnosis at night to retrain my mind or reprogram my subconscious to receive and to have wonderful things. Okay, it's really, really helpful. And especially for you, Taurus, with that 12th house activation, it could might help you too. All right, let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of Eight Chakra Lenormand. These are available on my website. Oh, and if you're interested in Ciro's cards, I did leave a link for Canada and a link for US customers in the description as well if you're interested in purchasing those cards. Okay. So we do have the mountain, the obstacles, and guess what was right beside it? The worry of the mice. Anxiety is causing you blockages, and that's a 12th house thing that you will be dealing with indeed. And so let's look at some of the essential oils and recommendations I put for the mountain. Actually, never mind. I'm going to put it for the mice card, the worry, the feeling like things are being taken from you in a way, and lots of thoughts of anxiety and worry that could be happening here for you, which we want to take care of, nip it in the bud. Okay, so mice, worry, number 23, 2 plus 3 equals 5, by the way, the number of change, the middle of the movie where all this stuff happens, right? And of course you could feel anxiety at this time too. And that Mars is kind of shaking things up, and Uranus is kind of shaking things up too. So let's see, what can we do about it? What can we do about it? That's the thing, self-mastery, right? Now, mice, anxiety, frustration, mental stuff going on right now. If you like gemstones like I do, smoky quartz will be a very good one for you. And also rose quartz, which is readily available And lepidolite, very good one. It's a purple stone that you can rub on yourself when you're feeling anxious or restless or that kind of vibe. Helps calm the mind down and the nerves down, so you could sleep a little bit better. Okay, and this body part that the mice rules in Lenormand is the nervous system. So we want to do everything we can to relax the nervous system. Focus on that. And the affirmation for this card is, I trust the process of life and I am safe. Okay. Wonderful. Come see me for a reading, Taurus. All right, Gemini rising, those with their moons in Gemini. This Mars in Aries activates your 11th house. And so this is social breakthroughs with the people. But not only that, it's your future vision energy, Gemini. You could meet someone random, okay? They could completely change your direction in life. That could happen. Mars in Aries, though, is lighting up your goals for the future. And Uranus is bringing some unexpected connections. So, Gemini, you could say yes to new communities. Say yes to online platforms for your business, doing more of the connection with people through the YouTube, through the Zoom meetings, things like that, right? And especially collaborations with other people. Your next opportunity is not planned, Gemini. It's discovered. All right, let's take a look at Ciro's Tarot of Dreams. There's a link in my description of this video to if for the Canadian version, or if you're in the US, to purchase these. All right. Ciro is actually one of my people in in my intuitive collective group. So that's pretty cool. I feel like I have someone famous in my group. Hi, Ciro, if you're watching. All right, so let's see. For you, Gemini, for this Mars in Aries. The Queen of Coins. Look, the Queen of Money. There's abundance there for you indeed. Let's see what Ciro wrote for this card, the Queen of Coins or the Queen of Pentacles. Same thing. It's a lot about your abundance. Without making a fuss, this queen quietly plans her environment and nurtures her loved ones. And so queens are a lot about the feeling, whether you're a man watching or a woman watching. It's the feeling. It deals with the material world as well. In astrology, this card is like 2/3 Capricorn, 1/3 Sagittarius. It's a little bit of fire, quite a lot of bit of earth. And so the queen applies gentle discipline, Capricorn, right? That Capricorn 2/3 of this card, in order to provide the ideal home base from which her loved one can expand their horizons. Sagittarius, expanding your horizons. Now, I do think that you will, it's a good time to be responsible about your goals and dreams for the future, and you will get there through expansion. Sagittarius part of this card, right? You'll get there through expansion in the people, the 11th house of which Mars and in Aries is doing. The people, your goals and dreams. So the people are your cheat code, Gemini. Now let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand, to see what else we could know, Gemini, for you in this time. And look, we got communications. This is kind of your card too. Number 12, birds, communication. So yes, there is new communities, new communications, and all sorts of stuff, chatter with the birds. However, I want to mention, in old Lenormand, ancestral Lenormand, birds also mean you will be doing a lot of work, extra stuff, extra errands, extra work, and you may feel a little bit too busy sometimes, right? Or you feel like you have too much to do. And that card that from Ciro's with the Queen of Coins, remember when it was gentle discipline in your life, right? So there's a little bit of responsibility here in managing all this busy community, people, goals and dreams, things like that. There needs to be a little bit of responsibility and planning, maybe, or strategic planning with that Capricorn vibe, while you expand that Sagittarius part of this card, expansion too, through the people. Okay, come see me for a reading, Gemini, and we can dive deeper into your cards and stars. All right, Cancer, Cancer rising, those with their moons in Cancer. Mars in Aries is igniting your career. 10th house. Your public image, your ambition is being activated here for Cancer. And that Uranus thing that's happening is bringing you unexpected opportunities when it comes to those things. So you could pivot your business, get recognized suddenly, or feel a strong urge to do something different, Cancer. This is your moment to stop playing small and do that bold move in your career, even if it feels a little scary, because Mars in Aries is bringing you courage, motivation, the juju, the juice, the juju, to do these changes that may have felt a little bit scary. Okay, whether that's asking for a promotion, whether that's moving careers, whether that's going live in front of people on TikTok. I'm just making up stuff here, but whatever that career pivot, that career thing has been scary for you, now's the time, with Mars bringing you the courage. Now let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of 8, Chakra Lenormand. This is for you, Cancer, Cancer rising, those with their moons in Cancer. All right, and we have options with the career. How do we balance our home and family life as well? There's a lot of things there, but there is some opportunity in, even though this card is a little bit difficult. Okay, the crossroad is like, ooh, what do I choose? There's decisions, I don't know what to choose, right? Go with your heart. Pretend you're a kid again, where everything was simple. Should I go here or here? Should I eat this or eat that? Like whatever feels right away, right? Because Cancer, you are intuitive. So go with your gut. And realize there's going to be some unexpected opportunities. We're going to pull a card now from Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams guidebook. Hi, Ciro, if you're watching. This is for Cancer, Cancer rising, Cancer moons. With this Mars in Aries, ooh, in your 10th house of career, fame, recognition, can be also government stuff. Maybe you're getting some new stuff from the government, or it could be activation with something with your parents, your mom or dad, if they're still with us, on this earth. There will be something to do with that. Okay, now Cancer, we've got the World. Look at the World. The world is our oyster. Okay, I see Saturn. The emblem of Saturn there is bringing some probably responsibility in a way, having a plan. Let's see what Ciro wrote for number 21, the end of the major arcana, before we get into the pip cards. The World card. Let's see what he wrote. A major arcana means a major change in life. Okay, this is major. And because it's the end of the major arcana, the very last card of the major arcana, well, it could show me that, we're reaching the end of a cycle here. Could be reaching an end of cycle when it comes to your career, and maybe you're pivoting your career or your business into something different, or you're pivoting into retirement and working with your retirement investments. What am I going to do there with that crossroad options card we got there for you too, right? Could literally be stock options, right? Now, let's look for you, Cancer. The World. Wow, there's lots of writing about the world. I probably don't have time to read the whole thing, but I will tell you, this is a completion, but at the same time, new beginning, like we talked about. Enlightenment, attainment. The Fool in the Tarot, the journey of the Fool. Well, the Fool has reached the end of his journey here. Ultimate enlightenment, right? Accomplishment. But it also says to keep going. It was cute. There's this little Zen proverb. Before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. So it's like, don't stop, right? Don't stop. Keep being, disciplined and consistent with the Saturn emblem there. And so there's a Hebrew letter that Ciro put right here. And it's Tau, which means signature or seal, and the universe bestows its diploma, signed, sealed, and delivered to you, Cancer. Wow. This is a really thing for a new you, Cancer. The World card, there's just, you've come full circle. And the mistakes, even though I don't think anything's a mistake, but let's just pretend that you like to label it as mistakes, which a lot of us do, the mistakes in our life. Well, we're learning what not to do this time around when it comes to all these things, when it comes to our fame, recognition, career, what we leave behind, the legacy, all that kind of stuff, right? Enlightenment doesn't carry us to some cloud covered Olympus, right? But instead, enlightenment returns us to daily or earthly life. Because it's a circle, the voyage never ends, but rather spirals ever onward and outward through successive stages of existence and awareness. Just as the circular frame never ends, but rather continues around and round. The circle also suggests the fool's signature number, 0, right? Which, as we now see, symbolizes nothing, and simultaneously, the potential for everything. Wow, Ciro, you got deep on that one. Mwah. Thank you, Cancer, for watching. Come see me for a reading, and we'll dive deeper into your cards and stars. All right, Leo rising, those with their moons in Leo. Ooh, Mars and Aries affecting your 9th house. This is a really good expansion energy on steroids for you, Leo. Don't waste it. You're being pushed to think bigger, to travel further, or to step into some kind of teaching or leadership role. Uranus is also shaking up your career path, okay, Leo? And Mars is saying, go. So, Leo, you can say yes to teaching, to speaking, or to sharing your message. You can say yes to trying something spiritual or something intellectual. This is a breakthrough, Leo, in how you see your future. So let's pull a card for you, Leo, from the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. All right. Now, this is for Leo. Mars and Aries transition in the 9th house, activation. And so here we have the moon, feelings. Okay, let's see what I wrote about the moon in Lenormand. Number 32, 3 plus 2 equals 5. That is change. Okay, now let's see. Number 32, the moon. This is about your emotions, can be romance. So maybe you're going to find someone at university or college, or maybe you're going to find someone on your foreign affairs your foreign travels, right? And so this can be public recognition too in Lenormand with the moon. And it can be the arts and entertainment industry. Okay, Leo, keep that in mind. And the psychic industry as well. So expanding the mind in different ways there. Now, this is the affirmation for this card that I wrote here is, I am an independent force and I express my feelings with ease. Ooh, very empowering with that 9th house stuff. Teaching, speaking, sharing your message, Leo, trying something new, especially spiritually or intellectually. Let's look at Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams, Leo. All right. And we will see for you what he has to say about the Mars in Aries activation. Ooh, the 4 of coins. So there's money involved here in the 9th house of this activation for you too. Okay, we've got the 4 of coins, or the 4 of pentacles. He's kind of holding on to his money there. Let's look at what Ciro wrote in his book for the 4 of coins. I see the sun is involved in there too. There's sun emblem. And I think this is Capricorn. So we've got like a responsible vibe here already. I can feel it. During your 9th house of expansion, you're going through probably some kind of, responsibility maybe with your finances. We'd have to look at the other places in your chart, but today we're really just talking about the Mars and Aries activation. So this is good fortune, right? Good fortune. And 9th house does bring a bit of luck to you. But sometimes it can mean a high price has to be paid for good fortune. And it could be fears about that being stolen from you, that fortune being stolen from you, 9th house. 9th house can sometimes hold lawsuits, things like that, court cases. And if that's the case for you, Leo, I think that you have more luck on your favor to win those court cases with Mars and Aries in your ninth house. It's bringing you kind of the upper hand if you are going through a court case and there's money involved, right? Now, astrology about this card. The sun in Capricorn. Yes, we already mentioned that. So your ego, the sun, can all too easily find itself creating its own prison, Capricorn. So the ninth house talks a lot about expanding the mind, expanding your belief systems. It has a lot to do with what's going on in our head, right? Our thoughts. We could be our own prison with our thoughts too. So let yourself expand. Let yourself see the potential in life. Do not be fearful for something, for loss, right? Focus on the wins. And, the sun in Capricorn card there, that four of coins, talks to me about the long game, not focusing on short-term things. All right. In other news for you, Leo, I'm seeing you two going on a long trip overseas, probably, and you'll get a lot of expansion and cool stuff happening on that trip as well, as Mars is moving through Aries for the next, I don't know how long it is, 4 weeks, I think. So from April 9th until May something. I just can't remember the day it changes. But anyways, all right. Thanks, Leo. Come see me for a reading. We'll see you in the next one. All right, Virgo rising, those with their moons in Virgo. Mars in Aries is activating your eighth house. This is a deep transformation. Mars is activating your power zone. Money is in here. Intimacy is in here. Shared resources is in the eighth house too. And Uranus is bringing sudden shifts. So you could, Virgo, break a financial pattern that's holding you back. You could have a powerful emotional realization and rise out of the eighth house like the phoenix rising. Or you could release something deep that's been holding you back, Virgo. This is intense. Yes, it feels really intense, but it's freeing. You, Virgo, are reclaiming your power. Let's take a look at the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. These are available on my website, www.themoontree.org. Let's say for you, Virgo, Mars and Aries activating your eighth house. You could Google that later, eighth house. Conflict here. So there could be conflict with a person in your life who's really close to you, especially a spouse. The joint finance, it could be a conflict here. But the whip also, although can mean conflict and problems that way, it can also show getting out of the feedback loop, of which the 8, right? Look at the 8. It's kind of this infinity sign. And it's like, oh, same patterns over and over again. But Uranus and Mars and Aries and all that, they're trying to lift you out of any patterns that are holding you back financially or with people. And so this is like a sign to take action and make good decisions and actually make actions to get out of that feedback loop of no return. Okay, and rise like the phoenix rising. What did I write for the whip? Number 11. Ooh, the 11 portal. New opportunity, new potential. Number 11, the whip. Could be arguments or competition, struggles. But it can also talk about sports. Okay, Virgo? Some of the things that can bring your power back is by getting back into that sport that you used to like doing, and bring, there's a little bit of competitiveness there, and it could be better used in a sport, for example, and getting your power back that way. Now, we could also use cedar wood as a very good essential oil for this, and lemongrass can be good. And your affirmation is, I stand in the face of adversity. I conquer it and I move on. Because the eighth house can hold a lot of our fears, right? Stuff below the surface that we may not always share with people. And so the whip wants us to conquer it, right? Now, let's pull a card from Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams. All right, really good guidebook, but that also, Virgo, if you're interested in this deck, I have a link for Amazon Canada or Amazon United States. Both depends where you live. And then you can purchase the deck yourself. All right. Hi, Ciro, if you're watching as well. So this is for Virgo. Mars moving into Aries, April 9th. Nine of Wands, feeling defensive maybe, or it looks like he's sitting on a he's feeling a little tired too, but maybe he's feeling like he's trying to, I don't know, protect himself from it, like with that whip, right? It's just feeling a little bit like, ugh. And the eighth house can do that. It can make you feel like, that kind of weird defensive feeling too. But let's see what Cyril wrote in his book about the Nine of Wands, a very fiery card too. And we have a lot of fire energy with Mars being a fire planet and Aries being a fire element zodiac sign. So yeah, this Nine of Wands. Wands is a fire element too in Tarot. Okay, and the moon is here, like your feelings and stuff. So it's a lot about your feelings. Eighth house, is actually a feelings house. The deep, deep feelings. Okay, so let's look at the Nine of Wands. What did Cyril write? Okay, a great struggle nears its conclusion, which is a good sign here. Stay alert for unforeseen weaknesses, and this can also mean you're feeling defensive, like I had said before. In some cases, this means you're taking your vigilance to an unhealthy extreme, maybe fighting for causes that don't really need to be or fighting about things that really don't deserve such fighting about, it's sort of like pick your battles a little bit better. Sometimes that can mean, right? It's just, you don't want to make defensiveness a way of life. That just doesn't make us happy. And that keeps us trapped in the eighth house, the underworld. And you want to rise out of the eighth house, like the phoenix rising into your power. This is the moon in Sagittarius. That's what this card flavor is. So having invested so much time and energy into cultivating your dreams, the moon, you now go to extraordinary lengths to guard and protect your cherished goals, Sagittarius. So it's talking about not being too overprotective and the art of letting go, the art of releasing, the art of detachment, the law of observation, where there's less emotion attached to it and less defensiveness and letting things flow. So Mars in Aries is trying to help you do that, Virgo. Come see me for a reading. This is a big transformation for you. Libra rising, those with their moons in Libra. Mars in Aries is activating your seventh house. This is relationship shakeups, but in a good way. Mars is lighting up your partnership zone, the seventh house, and Uranus is bringing unexpected changes to that. So you could meet someone really exciting. You could have a breakthrough conversation, Libra, with someone, or you could shift a dynamic, a relationship completely. And so this is about the freedom in relationships, okay? No more people-pleasing stuff. This is about real alignment. Now let's pull a card from the Power of Eight Chakra Lenormand. These are our cards available on my website, www.themoontree.org. And this is for Libra during the Mars in Aries activation in your seventh house. And we got the crossroad for you. There's options. It can feel difficult. Do I make up? Do I break up? Do I continue this contract or commitment? Maybe you're going through all your debit card transactions and credit card transactions and getting rid of any erroneous subscriptions that you have that you never even use, for example, and you're making these different decisions and with the options, okay? Planning for your a better future, really. And so there's options there. Let's see what I wrote. Number 22. This can be a difficult choice, but it can also talk about diversification, and it can be multiple things and new alternatives for you, Libra, especially when it comes to your partnerships, your business partnerships, and your spousal partnerships, like your wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, that kind of thing too. So these important sort of commitments that we have in our life. If you like gemstones, rose quartz is a good one, and so is moonstone, like this ring that I'm wearing. All right, that's a good one for this card. And if you like essential oils, well, frankincense and lavender are very good, especially combined. And guess what the planet of this card is? It's Uranus, new opportunity. So, and Uranus is affecting you in this whole thing too. So your affirmation is, I trust in myself to choose the right path. Very cool. Now let's pull a card from Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams. All right. For you, Libra, seventh house activation. Okay, this is for Libra. Seventh house activation with the Mars and Aries. Now, there's a lot of stuff going here with all this heat in the air, the cosmos. But so we got Temperance. I'm not surprised we got Temperance for you. Looks very Sagittarius card too. But we want to temper and make things a little more lukewarm, not too hot, not too cold, somewhere in the middle where it feels right. And so this is a major arcana card, so it's important, especially for you, Libra. This is number 14. 1 + 4 = 5. The number of change. So there's change in your relationships and your partnerships. Mars and Aries and Uranus are shaking things up there. So we just want to have some temperance. Let's see what Ciro wrote about this major arcana card. Number 14, Temperance. Finding a balance between the active and the passive. Yes. And so combining the elements to create something new, whether in life or maybe in art, because Libra, you are ruled by Venus traditionally. So, there's a lot about art and beauty with your sign, your zodiac sign too. So moderation is the key here, a middle course between the extremes. And so when we have this card, we're trying to go right in the middle, not all the way this way, not all the way there, somewhere in the middle, maybe, that could be a little bit of a sign there. We need both, fire, water, we need all but it's good to temper everything. And so Sagittarius, which this card, Temperance, is ruled by, there's that little Sagittarian arrow. Okay. It's about broadening one's mind through religion and philosophy, which can help us achieve balance and harmony of temperance. So it's a lot about learning here too. I mean, the more we learn, the more we can practice temperance as well. It's about not going so extreme one way or the other. Okay, Libra, come see me for a reading, and we can dive deeper into your cards and stars. Scorpio rising, those with their moons in Scorpio. Mars in Aries is activating your 6th house. And because Mars also runs you and rules you, Scorpio, not just Aries. So Aries and Scorpio are both ruled by Mars. So Mars is affecting you. Whatever Mars is doing at any time of the year, right? You want to look at that. Now, it's affecting your 6th house. This is your daily life. And so we're getting upgrades there. Could be to your health too, but lots about your daily life, your routines, and sometimes about work. Okay, and Uranus is shaking up your partnerships. What does this all mean? Well, this could look like changing your schedule suddenly, trying a new way of working, or breaking out of burnout patterns. This is your chance, Scorpio, to redesign your life in a way that actually works for you. Now, let's pull a card from the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand for you, Scorpio, in your 6th house. Lots of stuff goes on in the 6th house. Your work, your health, your day-to-day routines. Wow. But look, you got the best card in Lenormand. It's the anchor in the game of hope, which is a traditional Lenormand game. You want to get here. This is the last space. That means you win the game, basically, or you win the game of hope. Okay. So the anchor means stability. It's all the good things. And I think the more you work on the efficiency of your day-to-day and on your health and how things are going at work and finding the stability in life, you'll win. You're going to win at this. Okay. Let's look at number 35, anchor. What did I write? What did I write in the book? All right. So we have here security, a stable career, building a legacy, being faithful. Could be an actual anchor for some of you, beach, coastal anchor things, right? But it's about the correct path to reach your goals. Very 6th house-ish, right? The correct path, the daily routine to get to your goals. If you like gemstones, healing gemstones like I do, onyx is a good one. Red jasper is a good one. So those dark red or black sort of rocks are going to be very good. Shungite can be helpful. And essential oils is bergamot and frankincense can be really helpful for you too, if you like essential oils. The planets that rule this are Saturn, which is about taking responsibility, okay, Scorpio, and also about Neptune, which is the ocean, but it's also our perceptions, you know. Remember, the universe is just a mirror, Scorpio. So keep that in mind in the back of your mind, okay? Your affirmation for this card is I am in perfect balance. I move forward with joy at any age. Yes, because the sixth house with that Mars and Aries can bring inflammation into health. Yeah, like because the sixth house is your health. So you may be feeling a little bit like your age, right? Like I'm 48 years old and maybe feeling a little inflammation there with that Mars and Aries. So watch out for that, okay? Leaky gut syndrome, you know, you want to watch out for foods that are have gluten, dairy, sugar, that kind of thing. Best to avoid those at this time with Mars and Aries. Very hot, fiery energy for you. So just something to think about. Now, let's pull a card from Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams. Hello, Ciro, if you're watching. This is for Scorpio. All right, sixth house activation with the Mars moving into Aries on April 9th. Two cards came up, both hot, fiery wands. So yes, this is a lot hot, fiery, let's go action energy. We got the Three of Wands, which is sort of, you know, waiting for there's an opportunity there. There's three wands. Maybe the ship's coming in. Maybe the ship's setting sail. We'll talk a little more about this, about what he wrote in the book for this card. But we also got the King of Wands. So there's a lot of responsibility here over your life and your day-to-day and your health and the sixth house stuff with Mars in Aries there. Wow, lots of leadership vibes I'm getting for you, you know, taking leadership over your life, Scorpio. Let's look at the wands. The Three of Wands is actually waiting for success after those first actions that you took. It could be an investment that has grown and you're ready to pull it out and move it into something else, or it could be, you know, taking charge of the situation by taking direct action to influence the events to your liking, Scorpio. So it is taking action to influence your environment. Sixth house is quite the day-to-day, your environment. You know, you can make changes there that can have profound results. Even just doing a deep clean of your house and getting rid of the clutter and selling off some items that you don't need and making space, like energetic space, starting at the home, can be really helpful for you, Scorpio, at this time with that sixth house activation. King of Wands, very responsible kind of vibe there. He wants to make a difference in the world. And he wants to change his environment into what he thinks it should be. And this includes winning over others to his vision. It's almost like there's you have an ability with the King of Wands to help, how do I say it, convincing others in a way. Like you have the power of convincing. Like if you sell stuff, if you're a salesperson, this is good energy for you. I mean, it's success in business and being a good seller, right? But this is 2/3 Sagittarius and then 1/3 Scorpio, which is you, this card. So 2/3 Sagittarius, 1/3 Scorpio. The King of Wands uses his powerful and intense charisma, Scorpio, to accomplish his expansive goals, Sagittarius. Do you see that? Very interesting. Come see me for a reading, Scorpio. We could dive deeper into your cards and stars. Very powerful time for you here with Mars and Aries in your sixth house. Okay, Scorpio. Sagittarius rising, those with their moons in Sagittarius. Mars in Aries is activating your fifth house. This is creative fire. Mars is lighting up your joy, your passion, your self-expression. And Uranus is bringing unexpected inspiration. And it could be with new hobbies. It could be with your self-employment, your side gig, your business. It could be too about your kids as well. Unexpected inspiration means that you could start a creative project out of nowhere. You could feel this sudden spark of excitement, Sagittarius, for life, and you might take a risk in love or in visibility for your business, for example. This is a fun energy, but also powerful. It's all about following what lights you up, Sag. All right, let's pull a card from the Power of Eight Chakra Lenormand. Available on my website, www.themoontree.org. This is for Sagittarius. Look, a work card, the fox, cunning, when it comes to people, but because you're in the fifth house activation, this is a lot about your self-employment, your little side gig, your creative projects. And also it can be start selling your stuff, selling your art, your writings, whatever, your services, because the fox card often talks about the self-employment. If you look at number 14, the fox, it could be a job, self-employment, clever, sneaky, can be workaholics too. And in some cases, it can talk about being careful for liars or people who are cunning and stuff like that. But I usually don't focus on that because it's not really necessary. I like to focus on the deeper meaning of the fox, which for me is working on my business, right? And working on my job and having fun and having a better job and making money and all that stuff, right? And so black obsidian and smoky quartz can be very helpful to you at this time, Sagittarius. And your affirmation is, I am aware and I recognize my true worth. Sagittarius, there's a self-worth issue too, and creating, being free to create and innovate, and that humans are meant to create. That's kind of our thing. We do that. So whatever's stifling you from the joy of creating something, whether that's ideas or art or anything that you're creating, could be a new tarot deck of your own, right? Like what we did, right? Power of Eight with the other deck, but. Right. So speaking of other decks, we're gonna look at Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams. Hi, Ciro. So yes, let's look for you, Sag. Who, by the way, Sagittarians love oracle cards, tarot cards, things like that. Like those people at Hay House that create the decks. Lots of them are like Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising. Anyways, that was just a side note. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got the Seven of Coins. So she looks like she's waiting under the tree with her little doggy. And it looks like she's kind of waiting they're almost ready to pluck or to grab. We got a Taurus symbol here, the Taurus of, there's money involved there. There's the Saturn symbol for responsibility, dedication, perseverance, the long game. Sagittarius, creative fire for you, but it's kind of in a long game too. I also got the King of Swords, which is a lot about writing, communications, taking control of your thoughts. And these put together can mean your communication and writings can bring in some money as well. Okay, in that fifth house, which also brings luck too. If you're feeling that palm itch and you want to buy a lottery ticket, go for it. Now, let's look at what Ciro wrote about the Seven of Coins or the Seven of Pentacles. It's a Taurus-led card. Okay, let's see. Seven of Coins. Patience. Evaluation. Something you have nurtured can now grow on its own. Very cool if you've been investing too, And when it comes to investing, by the way, I just want to slip this in here, Sag. Because lots of times we use, some of us have an investment account just as a hobby, as a practice, or as to see how good we can do, and we play with that. Like me, I have about $1,000 in play account, I call it, because I'm just learning about investing and all the what's going on there. But what the main thing about investing is, it's those little increment, like $25 a month, $50 a month, but every month on, you know what I mean? It's this dedication, and then it starts to snowball later. But that can be what this seven of coins is, right? But let's see what else he wrote. It's the virtue of patience, waiting until the right time before taking action. Proper timing can make such a difference in our endeavors. And maybe it's like you've grown something now where it doesn't need your attention all the time. All right. Now you can sit back and watch it grow. And this is Saturn in Taurus. Saturn in Taurus. That's what this card is. And Taurus wishes to immediately enjoy the sensual experience of eating the fruit. But Saturn cautions, and he says, patience and self-discipline, Sag. Patience and self-discipline. Now, King of Swords. Let's see that one. That's a big card. The King of Swords for Sagittarius. Fifth house activation with Mars in Aries. How will this all fit together? Where's the swords? I'm having trouble finding the swords. There it is. Okay, King of Swords. Okay. A plan that you've had or a strategy has reached its peak stage of effectiveness. Ooh, Sag, fifth house often holds our investments, and I feel like I want to talk to you about investments all day long for some reason, stock market and investing and stuff. It looks like a lot of your portfolio has reached its peak, and it may be time to move it into maybe some safer places. Okay, I'm just getting that. But it can also mean that your strategy that you've been doing, it has reached its peak of effectiveness. It's ready to be put into practice now with the King of Swords. Kings are a little bit controlling, okay? And maybe suggesting that you are being a little too rigid about your beliefs and your statements and your attitudes, right? And then, but we want to go with the flow. We want to, kind of not be too rigid in our thinking either. Kings can be a little bit like that. This is 2/3 Gemini and 1/3 Taurus. So that Taurus vibe's coming up for you, Sag, again. But 2/3 Gemini means that the King of Swords studies and understands the relationships between things, Gemini. So learning something new, maybe about your investments, maybe about the economy, maybe about personal finance, and then the Taurus part is doing it in a thorough way. So there's a lot of learning here for you, Sagittarius, at this time as well, when it comes to what brings you joy, passion, your little soulpreneur business, and sometimes with your kids as well. Come see me for a reading, Sagittarius. This sounds a little complicated. We might need to get to the bottom of your cards and stars. Capricorn rising, those with their moons in Capricorn. Mars in Aries is bringing you shifts in your home and foundation. Fourth house. It's activating. So Mars is activating your home life. Yes. And Uranus is bringing you unexpected changes around your joy, your creativity, or even the kids in the fifth house too. So there's a few things going on here. You might want to rearrange your living space. Just freshen it up a bit. Do some feng shui. Rearrange the furniture. Get some fresh energy going in there, okay? Also, you're likely to make a bold family decision at this time, Capricorn. And it could just be shifting what home means for you at this moment. This is about creating a life that feels freeing, not restrictive. Okay, so let's pull a card from our decks. The Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. Okay, Capricorn, fourth house of home and family being activated with this fiery Mars in Aries. Okay, and we've got, I'm going to pull two cards here. We've got Authority, the Tower with the dog. So there is someone in your life who's probably talking to you, a professional person. These two mixed combined, the tower with the dog, shows me there's a professional in your life. This could be a real estate agent. This could be a lawyer. This could be someone to guide you when it comes to these fourth house home and family matters as well. Okay. And so it could even be a teacher at a university or a librarian or a nurse. We don't know. who the professional is. I guess I could pull one more card and see if the universe will tell me exactly who this professional is. Somebody in communications with the birds. So someone who is going to give you the right guidance and advice to move forward when it comes to your fourth house of home and family. Okay, that's what that's all about. Now let's pull a card from Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams to get even more information for you, Capricorn, where your home and foundation shifts right now with the Mars in Aries starting April 9th. Oops, I dropped. I have to reshuffle. Sorry, Capricorn. I had too many cards fall. So let's just pull one card for Capricorn, please, universe. One card will be good. And we've got... Okay, and we've got Page of Coins. Page of Coins. Pages are communications too. So you're getting communications about your money in some way. This could be so that combo before with the Lenormand, where we were looking at a person who communicates with you, and it has something to do, you know, it could be real estate related, it could be financially related, right? We're getting some communications from that person, the page. Okay, Page of Coins. The page is also in Tarot a learning. They're at the beginning before they become a knight, before they become a queen or a king. So the page is sort of still learning. It's a new vibe too. So the Page of Coins, the Page of Money, the Page of Abundance. Let's look at what Ciro wrote in his awesome little booklet, by the way. I just love it. Page of Coins. Very in-depth, this deck. I did leave a link if you wanted, Capricorn, to purchase this. If you live in the USA, there's a USA link, and then Canada, there's a Canada link as well. So the Page of Coins, it's the beginning of a material endeavor. Something material is a beginning, yes. Starting to construct something, beginning a project. You know, with that home and family, it could be beginning gardening or nutrition or diet or exercise in some cases. You could be thinking about becoming a parent too. And so you could be embarking as well on a new savings plan or investment. Maybe you watched my 50, 30, 20 money video where even low income people can become rich as well, right? You may be really thinking about that. Because the fourth house is your emotional foundation too, your things that make you feel safe, not just your house and your family and your real estate, but things that make you feel emotionally safe. So that's going on for you. Pages are learning. Like I said before, the Page of Coins is learning about material reality. So, you know, the approach would be to learn about the physical processes that are going around you. Okay, Capricorn, come see me for a reading and we'll discuss your cards and stars and what we can do to have a really great balance with the home and family and the career and all those things in between. Okay. Aquarius rising, those with their moons in Aquarius. And I'm one of you. My sun is in Aquarius, right? I was born with the sun in the Aquarius part of the horizon. Now, Aquarius, this Mars in Aries is activating our third house. This is very busy. The third house has a lot of busyness to it and a lot of things inside. It's fast moving. There's lots of communication breakthroughs for us with this Mars in Aries. And so it's activating our minds, and the Uranus, which by the way is one of our modern rulers as an Aquarius, Uranus is our modern ruler, and it's doing some things. It's sending us some lightning bolt insights. So this is the time for us Aquarians to speak up, to start content, making more content, and to share our ideas quickly. All right? Don't overthink it. Your voice is the breakthrough. Okay, Aquarius. Let's pull a card to go deeper with the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. These are our cards available on my website, www.themoontree.org. Oh, Aquarius, I'm so excited for us. Third house. You know, I just want to say before I move on to the cards, The third house is a lot about our community. This is a great time to get out in the community, start selling, send out your business cards, make connections. You'll get more money just through your community. Okay. And also, we may even get more stuff about our siblings, which is funny because my brother's an Aries. He's my sibling. Interesting. Okay, we have worry though, and I'm telling you, the third house is on the 9-3 axis, the third house, ninth house axis, which has a lot to do with our brains and what's going on up here. And Aquarius, we're already air signs. We're always having something going on in here, right? So there can be a sense of worry, anxiety. We need to ground ourselves quite a bit, okay? If we look at the mice card, number 23, by the way, 2 + 3 = 5, the number of change, the middle of the movie, everything happens, all the action. And the third house is a busy time, right? But let's not worry so much, and let's see what kind of remedies we can do with the mice card. So this is about anxiety, loss, frustration, theft, attention deficit disorder in some cases. House repairs might be needed, but it's a lot about the stress and anxiety, okay? And so rose quartz, nice and grounding. Ruby and zoisite, that's a stone that's beautiful for this. Chrysoprase, one of my favorite stones. Oh, I love that blue. It can help with the worry, the anxiety, that kind of feel. And of course, smoky quartz is always a good one. And if you like essential oils, anything that comes from a tree, okay? Arbor vitae, cedar tree, cedar wood, sandalwood, cinnamon bark, things that ground you. It's thick, like vetiver, for example. This card does rule the nervous system, the mice worry nervous system. So affirmation is, I trust the process of life and I am safe. Now, let's pull a card from Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams. All right, for Aquarius. All right, let's see, for Aquarius. King of Cups. Ooh, the King of Cups. This looks interesting indeed. Master of our emotions, the King of Cups. All right. Let's see what... Suddenly I had a blank in my brain. My mind has just gone blank. So therefore, I'm going to open up Ciro's book to the King of Cups and just tell him what he wrote. King of Cups, master of our emotions. That's the only thing that wants to come out of my mouth right now about it. Maybe I've been doing too many readings today. I'm sorry. Okay, let's look. What did he say? King of Cups. Okay. You are ready to communicate something that you feel. All right. You are mature enough now to counsel others or to help mediate others. Kings are a little bit controlling, and so it suggests that you take charge of your emotional life. Don't be afraid to communicate your feelings, Aquarius, or to offer advice to others in need, because this is 2/3 Pisces, 1/3 Aquarius, which is our sign, King of Cups. 2/3 Pisces, 1/3 Aquarius. I find that fascinating. I like how Ciro did that in the book. So cool. Anyways, the king has a full understanding of the non-rational, right? And also the non-linear patterns of life. That's very Pisces. Now, he desires to use this understanding to help society in general, very Aquarius. So yeah, interesting. Oh my gosh, come see me for a reading, Aquarius. We could dive deeper into your cards and stars. Visit me at my website, www.themoontree.org. All right, Pisces. Pisces rising goes with their moons in Pisces. Mars in Aries is activating your second house. This is your money. This is your self-worth. So Mars is pushing you to take action financially, Pisces, and Uranus is bringing you unexpected opportunities. So you could start a new income stream, or perhaps you are, finally asking for that raise, and you should be doing that every year, Pisces. When's the last time you got a raise? Because you're wasting thousands of dollars every year, which could be going towards your future, right? You watched my 50-30-20 thing, right? 50% of your income goes towards your needs, like your rent and your whatever, and then 30% is your wants. So it's like whatever you want to buy, doesn't matter. Your beer fund, okay. And then also the 20% goes to your savings and to your investments for the future. So you got a nice little. So this is the second house that's being activated is asking you to look at your finances. It could be about pricing something differently. It could be about taking a bold financial step in your life, okay, and getting educated. This is about valuing yourself, Pisces, at a higher level. So it's act like the version of yourself who already has the abundance, right? The universe really is just a mirror, and it mirrors who we are and who we believe ourselves to be and feeling that. So really embodying the abundance in your life. Second house too can also talk about dietary changes. It often has to do with what's going in our mouth. And health is wealth too. Second house of money, but health is wealth. And what do you put in your mouth, Pisces? That could be something to look at as well. Now, let's pull a card from the Power of Eight Chakra Lenormand, available on my website, www.themoontree.org. Okay, for Pisces, Pisces rising, those with their moons in Pisces, Mars moving into Aries on April 9th is activating your second house of your income, your resources, and your self-worth. And here we have a new commitment, and the anchor card is wonderful to get, by the way. The ring, you got a new commitment to security, stability, and financial stability as well. So if you do the taking action financially in your life and preparing, you're going to be just fine, Pisces. Taking that commitment to yourself for your stability and security for the future. If you like essential oils, anything red or black, okay? Red jasper, black tourmaline, onyx, Shanghai, that's going to be good. And with, actually, I'm going to look at this card. What did I write for other remedies with that 35 anchor? Best card in the Lenormand deck to get, actually. There's this game in traditional Lenormand, the old-fashioned kind, right? The game of hope, and you want to land on the anchor. Then you've reached the end of the game, and you've got all the riches and wonder. So it's a good card to get, you know? It's like the best card. And so this is about a stable career, building a legacy, all sorts of stuff like that. The correct path to reaching your goals, okay, Pisces? And so frankincense can be very good. And chamomile, if you like chamomile essential oil, that could be very good too. Or maybe just some chamomile tea once in a while, right? It'd be very good. And frankincense, bergamot, good essential oils, and as well. Now, this card is ruled by Saturn, which is the planet of stability. And this card is also ruled by Neptune. And so are you, Pisces, in modern astrology, right? Neptune, the water. It's also our perceptions, right? Neptune is our perceptions, how we see things. And so your affirmation for the anchor is, I am in perfect balance. I move forward with joy at any age. All right. So a commitment to your security, stability for the future. And for some Pisces, this is a financial agreement about a new property or a trip where it involves the coastline or beaches. I just wanted to put that out there. Very, very specific. Very, very specific prediction for some of you Pisceans. Okay, now, before we go, let's pull one more card from Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams. This is available. There's a US link and a Canada link to buy these on Amazon if you're interested. They're very recommended. I love these cards. Okay, by Ciro Marchetti. And you'll see why. Okay, this is for Pisces, Mars in Aries. Second house activation, the money, the self-worth. And we have the Death card. This is all about transformation. Something old within you is dying now. Okay, Pisces, that's a good thing, because sometimes we have to let the old, the decayed, the non-performing stuff about us, so to speak, it gets, transformed, transmutated, and it decomposes and it goes away. So that's a big deal, right, Pisces? This is a big thing. This is a big card to get. And it's number 13, death. let's pull, or let's look at Ciro's book about that. 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4, number of stability and security, like that anchor. So it's like something's dying with you that's not bringing you the security and stability anymore, right? You're transforming into a more stable, secure, happier version of yourself now. Something has outlived its usefulness, right? A situation or a condition ends now in order to make way for the new. Sadness at the ending, but there's hopefulness for the new beginnings. All right. And it can happen a lot with your money stuff too. What's another interesting, because we got that anchor, and I said Pisces, fish, anchor, beach, coastal line. Okay, but listen to this. There's a little Hebrew letter on this death card right here. A Hebrew letter. Okay. And that is called Nun, N-U-N, and it means fish. Fish symbolizes fertility, regeneration, which always occur in the wake of death. In astrology, this is ruled by Scorpio, this card. Look at Scorpio, which is a sign of death and birth. Wow. This is actually a positive card, the death, but sometimes there's a little bit of melancholy or sadness, and I think it's just because sometimes it's hard to let go of things that were programmed into our brains, or that are almost like repetitive actions make us feel safe. And this is like, no, it's time for transformation here in your self-worth, in your money, income, all that stuff. And some stuff has to die, so to speak, in order for you to move forward. Okay, Pisces? Scorpio too is the sign of death and birth, so there we go. Come see me for a reading, Pisces, and we can dive deeper into your cards and stars. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. My final words is, this is one of those rare transits where action meets opportunity. Mars gives you the courage. Uranus gives you the breakthrough. So tell me in the comments, what sign are you and what are you ready to change?